it comes to starting a business, I think a lot of people, especially when they're starting off a small business, maybe they're a sole proprietor, or if they're starting off a single member LLC, they'll ask themselves, do they need a CPA or CPA firm to do their taxes? Can I just buy the business level version of tax software and do taxes myself? And the truth is, can you do it yourself? You might be able to do it, but the reality is CPAs are there for a reason. They have expertise when it comes to all the different changes in the tax laws. And the tax laws constantly change year after year, and sometimes even throughout the year, there may be changes. And so it's always important, to be able to tap into a professional who knows what they're doing. So my recommendation is always, you know what, when you're starting your business, regardless of the size, talk to a CPA. And then you really want to think about working with one as your business grows. Do you need one on day one? My preference is yes, you should, work with a CPA from day one. When I started my company, the very first year, partial year into the company, I spoke to the CPA, and he says, well, you don't really need me to do your taxes for this, the kickoff, in essence, because the business was not yet fully operational. We had some organizational expenses, some minor expenses on the books, but no revenue coming in yet. And so he said, you really don't need to do this. You don't need to, pay, for the CPA services for that initial year. And then, your first full year, I could work with the CPA. But my thinking was, what, I want you to, this kickoff year, in essence, before the company goes, fully into operation, to handle it, because then you can take a look at my particular individual tax situation as well as the business, and be able to, get an idea of where I'm coming from in terms of the business. And that way, when we head into that first year, we'll be able to really hit the ground running. And any questions that were there before, he's already prepared. He already knows what to expect. And then throughout the year, I would check in with my CPA and, talk about, these are the changes and what adjustments do we need to make throughout the year to ensure that when we get to tax season, that there are no surprises. So my recommendation for any small business owner is, yes, you should work with a CPA or CPA firm from the beginning, from the start.